The ultimate predators. Imagine a world where unseen predators manipulate the very fabric of human existence. Carrion Comfort plunges us into the sinister realm of mind vampires, individuals with the terrifying ability to control others' thoughts and actions. They wield this power, not for survival, but for amusement, greed, and destruction. The novel is a chilling journey through psychological horror, human fragility, and the consequences of unchecked power. A sinister reunion. The story begins in a grand, decaying southern mansion in Charleston, South Carolina. The house, shrouded in mist and surrounded by ancient oak trees draped in Spanish moss, sets a foreboding tone. Inside, three old friends, Melanie Fuller, Saul Lasky, and Willi Borden, gather in a dimly lit parlor. Flickering candlelight casts long shadows on the cracked walls, and the air is thick with tension. These three are not ordinary friends, but possessors of the ability, a power that allows them to dominate others' minds. Their reunion is a deadly game of chess, with human lives as the pieces. Melanie, dressed in an elegant yet sinister black gown, orchestrates the meeting. Her cold, piercing eyes reveal her true nature. The evening ends in bloodshed as Willi is killed, his lifeless body crumpling on the ornate Persian rug, and Saul barely escapes into the night. Saul Lasky, a survivor's mission. Saul Lasky's story begins in the icy grip of World War II. Visualize a grim concentration camp, the air heavy with despair and the faint sound of distant gunfire. Saul, a young Jewish prisoner, is subjected to unimaginable horrors. Among his tormentors is Wilhelm von Borchert, a Nazi officer who uses the ability to force prisoners to kill one another for his amusement. The scene is a nightmare of human suffering, with Saul's anguished face illuminated by the flickering light of a bonfire. Years later, Saul is a weary yet determined man. He walks through rain-soaked streets, clutching old photographs and tattered documents, piecing together the puzzle of the ability. His resolve is unshakable as he vows to end the reign of these predators. Each clue he uncovers brings him closer to the truth and to Melanie Fuller. The powers of the ability. Mind vampires. The ability is depicted as a swirling, invisible force that seeps into the minds of victims like a shadow creeping across a wall. Those under its influence move like marionettes, their eyes vacant and their expressions hollow. The users of the ability are shown in stark contrast, calm, calculating, and almost godlike in their control. Melanie Fuller's use of the ability is particularly chilling. Picture her walking through a crowded city street, her gaze falling on a young couple. With a slight smirk, she commands them to turn on each other, their joyous laughter twisting into screams of betrayal. The scene is both horrifying and mesmerizing, a display of her absolute power. The Resistance, a band of survivors. Saul's journey brings him to a small, desolate town where he meets Natalie Preston. Natalie, a young woman with fiery red hair and a haunted look in her eyes, is mourning her father, who was killed by Melanie. The two form an uneasy alliance, joined by Sheriff Bobby Joe Gentry, a rugged lawman drawn into the fray after a series of gruesome murders in his town. Their hideout, a run-down motel on the edge of a misty swamp, becomes the setting for their planning sessions. The group sits around a dimly lit table, maps and photographs spread before them. Tension fills the air as they argue over their next move, knowing that Melanie is always watching, always one step ahead. The global conspiracy, a network of evil. As Saul and his allies dig deeper, they uncover a vast network of mind vampires who have shaped history from the shadows. Imagine scenes of historical events, wars, assassinations, and revolutions, unfolding like a montage, each manipulated by unseen hands. In one chilling revelation, they discover a luxurious underground lair, filled with opulent furniture and walls lined with screens displaying live feeds from around the world. This is where the ability users gather, sipping champagne as they play their deadly games. The contrast between their decadence and the suffering they cause is stark and unsettling. The climax? A battle of wills. The final showdown is a psychological and physical battle. Picture a sprawling, snow-covered estate on the outskirts of a frozen forest. The moon casts an eerie glow on the icy landscape as Saul confronts Melanie in the grand hall of the mansion. The room is filled with shattered mirrors, their jagged edges reflecting the chaos of their struggle. The battle is waged not with weapons, but with sheer willpower. Saul's face contorts with effort as he resists Melanie's commands, her voice echoing in his mind like a dark melody. Meanwhile, Natalie and Sheriff Gentry fight Melanie's minions in the labyrinthine corridor.